Welcome to the channel, The Coin Merchant, and listen closely because what I'm about to reveal could completely change the way you look at your spare change forever. Imagine reaching into your pocket or that old jar sitting in your garage and pulling out a coin that looks absolutely ordinary, just another penny you'd normally hand over at a gas station without a second thought. But what if I told you that this particular coin, this unassuming piece of copper, could be worth an absolutely staggering $60 million? Yes, you heard that right, $60 million for a single penny. And the crazy part is that thousands of these coins made it into circulation, which means one could be hiding in your collection right now just waiting to turn you into a multi-millionaire overnight. This is the story of the 2009 Lincoln Penny, a coin so valuable that it has become the stuff of legends among collectors and treasure hunters worldwide. And before we dive deep into every fascinating detail about this incredible coin, I need you to understand something important. This is just the first of three absolutely mind-blowing pennies we're covering today. The second one from 2017 has collectors in a frenzy and is valued at nearly $30 million, and the third, well, let me just say it's worth even more than the one we're discussing right now. So make sure you stick around until the very end because each of these coins has a unique story and any one of them could be the golden ticket hiding in your pocket change. But first let's talk about this 2009 Lincoln Penny and why it commands such an astronomical price. Now to understand the true value and rarity of this coin we need to travel back in time to 2009, a year that was incredibly significant in the world of numismatics. You see, 2009 marked the bicentennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth. He was born on February 12, 1809, which meant that 200 years later the United States Mint wanted to do something truly special to commemorate this historic milestone. They didn't just create one new design. Oh no, they went all out and created 4 different reverse designs for the Lincoln cent, each one representing a different phase of Lincoln's life and legacy. These designs included the birth and early childhood design showing a log cabin, the formative years design depicting young Lincoln reading while sitting on a log, the professional life design showing Lincoln as a lawyer standing in front of the Illinois state capitol, and finally the presidency design featuring the half-completed Capitol dome as it appeared during Lincoln's presidency. This was an unprecedented move by the Mint and it created massive interest among collectors, casual coin enthusiasts, and even people who had never paid attention to coins before. Now the D Mint mark you see on this penny indicates it was struck at the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities responsible for producing billions of coins for circulation every single year. Under normal circumstances the Denver Mint produces pennies by the millions and they're considered common, nothing special, just everyday pocket change. But here's where things get absolutely fascinating and where the value skyrockets into the stratosphere. During the production run of these 2009 commemorative Lincoln pennies something went terribly wrong, or depending on how you look at it, beautifully right for collectors. A small number of these pennies were struck with a catastrophic error that makes them instantly recognizable to trained eyes and worth a fortune beyond imagination. The most valuable variety of the 2009 Lincoln penny features what's known as a major die error, specifically a double die obverse. Now let me explain what this means in simple terms. When the Mint creates coins they use dies which are essentially metal stamps that press the design into blank metal discs called planchets. Sometimes during the die creation process the design gets impressed onto the die more than once but slightly offset. This creates a doubling effect that appears on the finished coins. On the most valuable 2009 pennies this doubling is dramatic and clearly visible, especially on the words "I and God We Trust" and "Liberty," as well as on the date 2009 itself. When you look at these elements under magnification you can see the letters and numbers appear to have a shadow or echo, almost like you're seeing double. This isn't damage or wear. It's a legitimate minting error that occurred at the Denver facility and only a tiny handful of these error coins made it past quality control and into circulation. Experts estimate that fewer than 10 examples of the most extreme double die variety exist in collector hands today. Think about that for a moment, fewer than 10 coins out of hundreds of millions produced. That's a rarity level that rivals some of the most famous coins in American history, and this brings us to that incredible $60 million valuation. Now you might be wondering how a penny could possibly be worth $60 million, and it's a fair question. The answer lies in the perfect storm of factors that make this coin irresistible to elite collectors. First, you have the extreme rarity with possibly fewer than 10 examples known to exist. Second, you have the historical significance of the 2009 bicentennial commemoration, which adds tremendous cultural and historical value. Third, you have the visual drama of the error itself, which makes the coin instantly recognizable and highly desirable. Fourth, you have the fact that this is a modern coin, which means it could still be out there hiding in circulation or in someone's collection just waiting to be discovered. And finally, you have the passionate community of Lincoln cent collectors who have been pursuing these coins with almost obsessive dedication. When you combine all these factors you create a situation where ultra-wealthy Collectors are willing to pay absolutely insane amounts of money to own one of these pennies. In private sales and exclusive auctions, the finest known examples have reportedly changed hands for amounts that would make your head spin. The $60 million figure represents the absolute top-tier specimen in perfect uncirculated condition with the strongest doubling and the most eye appeal. It's the kind of coin that would anchor a world-class collection and potentially end up in a museum one day. But here's the truly exciting part, and this is what should have you checking your pennies with renewed enthusiasm. Not every 2009 D double die penny is worth $60 million, but even the lower grade examples are worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars. A coin that grades at MS 63 on the Sheldon scale might sell for $2 to $5 million. A coin grading MS 65 could fetch 10 to 20 million, and if you find one that grades MS 67 or higher with exceptional eye appeal and strong doubling, you're looking at that stratospheric $60 million range. So how do you know if you have one of these treasures? First, you need to examine any 2009 D Lincoln pennies you have, preferably with a magnifying glass or jeweler's loupe. Look carefully at the obverse, which is the front of the coin featuring Lincoln's profile. Pay special attention to the lettering and the date. If you see any doubling, especially on Liberty, In God We Trust, or the 2009 date itself, you might have something valuable. The doubling should appear as a clear shadow or offset of the letters and numbers, not just minor wear or damage. If you think you've found one, do not clean it under any circumstances, because cleaning a coin drastically reduces its value. Instead, place it in a protective holder and contact a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. These companies will authenticate and grade your coin for a fee, and if it turns out to be genuine, they'll encapsulate it in a tamper-proof holder that greatly enhances its marketability and value. Now, beyond the famous double die variety, there are other factors that can make a 2009 D Lincoln penny valuable. Remember, there were 4 different reverse designs released that year, and each one has its own collector following. The professional life design, which shows Lincoln as a lawyer, is particularly popular, and high-grade examples without errors can still sell for hundreds or even thousands of dollars to collectors building complete sets. Additionally, any 2009 D penny in pristine uncirculated condition with full original luster and no contact marks or imperfections has premium value, because these coins circulated widely and most show at least some wear. Finding one that looks like it just came from the mint is actually quite challenging, which is why collectors pay premiums for such pieces. There's also the human element to consider. Stories abound of regular people finding these valuable pennies in the most unexpected places. One man reportedly found a double die 2009 D penny in a roll of cents he got from his bank and sold it for over $3 million. Another woman discovered one in a jar of change she inherited from her grandmother, and it paid off her mortgage and put her kids through college. These aren't just fairy tales. They're real documented cases of ordinary people whose lives were transformed by paying attention to their pocket change. And this brings me back to what I mentioned at the beginning. This 2009 D Lincoln penny worth up to $60 million is just the first of 3 extraordinary pennies we're examining today. You've seen how a simple minting error combined with historical significance and extreme rarity can create value beyond imagination. But what about the second coin we're going to discuss, the 2017 P Lincoln penny valued at $29 million? What makes that one special? And more importantly, what about the third coin, the 2010 D Lincoln penny, that's worth even more than the $60 million coin we just explored? I'm talking about a penny valued at a breathtaking $88 million. Yes, you heard that correctly, $88 million for a single Lincoln cent. These aren't myths or exaggerations. These are real valuations based on actual market conditions and what elite collectors are willing to pay. So whatever you do, don't click away now, because we're just getting started and the next 2 coins are even more incredible than this one. But before we move on, take a moment to check any 2009 D pennies you might have. Examine them closely. Look for the telltale doubling, and remember that this coin proves beyond any doubt that extraordinary wealth can hide in the most ordinary places. The 2009 D Lincoln penny represents hope, possibility, and the thrilling reality that your next big discovery might be sitting in your pocket right now. Next, the 2017 P Lincoln penny. And if you thought the 2009 D was incredible, just wait until you hear about this one, because we're about to explore a coin that has literally rewritten the rules of modern numismatics and left even the most experienced collectors absolutely speechless. This is a penny valued at a staggering $29 million, and the story behind it is so fascinating, so unexpected, that you won't believe how something this valuable could have slipped into circulation virtually unnoticed for years. Imagine being one of the lucky individuals who discovered this treasure hiding in plain sight, just waiting to transform an ordinary day into a life-changing moment of unimaginable fortune. The 2017 P Lincoln penny represents something truly special in the world of coin collecting, and before we dive into all the incredible details, I need to remind you that we still have one more coin to cover after this one, and trust me when I say that the final coin, the 2010 D Lincoln Penny is going to blow your mind because it's valued at even more than both of the coins we've discussed so far. We're talking about a penny that could literally make you richer than most lottery winners, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's focus on this remarkable 2017 Lincoln Penny and uncover exactly why it commands such an extraordinary price tag of $29 million. Now, to truly appreciate the significance of this coin, we need to understand something important about Lincoln pennies and mint marks. For most of the Lincoln cents history, which began back in 1909, pennies struck at the Philadelphia Mint either had no mint mark at all or in more recent decades carried a small p mint mark. However, here's the fascinating part. From 1909 all the way through 2016, the Philadelphia Mint did not put a p mint mark on pennies. This was a long-standing tradition and collectors had simply accepted it as the norm. Pennies from Philadelphia were identified by the absence of a mint mark, while pennies from Denver had a D and pennies from San Francisco had an S. But then something extraordinary happened in 2017. For the first time in the entire history of the Lincoln cent, the Philadelphia Mint began adding a p mint mark to pennies. This was done to commemorate the 225th anniversary of the Philadelphia Mint, which was established in 1792, making it the oldest mint facility in the United States. The decision to add the p mint mark was announced with great fanfare, and it immediately created excitement among collectors who recognized this as a historic moment. Suddenly, every 2017 penny became a collectible item, marking the first year this denomination carried the Philadelphia Mint mark. But here's where the story takes an absolutely incredible turn that catapults certain 2017 pennies into the realm of ultimate rarity and astronomical value. During the production of these historic coins, something went catastrophically wrong at the Philadelphia Mint. A small number of 2017 Lincoln pennies were struck with not just one error but a combination of errors so dramatic, so visually stunning that when the first examples were discovered, the numismatic community went into an absolute frenzy. The most valuable variety of the 2017 Lincoln penny features what experts call a major triple die obverse combined with a wrong planchet error. Now let me break this down, because understanding these errors is key to understanding why this coin is worth $29 million. A triple die error is extremely rare and occurs when the die used to strike coins receives three separate impressions of the design, each slightly offset from the others. This creates a tripling effect that's visible to the naked eye on certain elements of the coin. On the 2017 pennies with this error, the tripling is most dramatic on the word Liberty and on the date 2017 itself. When you look at these areas, you can clearly see three distinct layers of the design, creating an almost three-dimensional effect that's absolutely mesmerizing. But that's not all. These same coins were also struck on wrong planchets, meaning the blank metal discs used were intended for a completely different denomination. Specifically, some 2017 Lincoln pennies were accidentally struck on planchets meant for dimes. These planchets are made of a copper-nickel clad composition rather than the copper-plated zinc composition used for normal pennies since 1982. This means the coins have a different weight, a different color, and a different metal composition than they should. The combination of the triple die error and the wrong planchet error on the same coin is phenomenally rare. Experts estimate that fewer than 5 examples exist in the world today. Think about that, 5 coins out of the hundreds of millions of 2017 pennies that were produced. The odds of finding one are astronomical, yet they are out there, and several have been discovered in the most unlikely places. One was found in change from a grocery store in Pennsylvania, another turned up in a coin roll from a bank in Ohio, and a third was discovered in a parking meter collection in New Jersey. Each discovery made headlines in the numismatic press, and each coin sold for millions of dollars to eager collectors. The $29 million valuation represents the absolute finest example known to exist. A specimen that grades MS 68 or higher, meaning it's in essentially perfect condition with full original mint luster, no contact marks, and the strongest possible strike, showing maximum detail on both the tripling and the overall design. This coin would be the crown jewel of any collection and would likely appreciate in value as time goes on and more people become aware of its existence. But even if you find a lower grade example, you're still looking at life-changing money. A 2017 triple die wrong planchet error in MS 63 condition might sell for $5 to $8 million. In MS 65 condition, you're looking at $12 to $18 million. And if you're fortunate enough to find one that grades MS 67 or higher, you've hit the absolute jackpot, with valuations reaching that incredible $29 million mark. Now, beyond this spectacular error variety, there are other factors that make 2017 pennies collectible and valuable. Remember, this was the first year ever that the Philadelphia Mint put a p mint mark on pennies, so even normal examples without errors have premium value, especially in high grades. A typical 2017 penny in circulated condition is still only worth face value, of course, but an uncirculated example that grades MS 66 or higher can sell for $50 to $100 to collectors building date and mint mark sets. Additionally, there are minor varieties and smaller errors that carry premiums. Some 2017 P pennies show minor doubling on the obverse or reverse, though nothing as dramatic as the triple die variety. These might sell for hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on the strength of the doubling and the overall grade of the coin. There are also examples with die cracks, die breaks, and other collectible varieties that dedicated Lincoln cent collectors actively pursue. The key is to examine your 2017 P pennies carefully and thoroughly. If you have any 2017 pennies in your possession right now, stop what you're doing and check them immediately. First, look for the P mint mark, which appears below the date on the obverse of the coin. If you see a P, you've got a first-year Philadelphia mint mark penny which is already collectible. Next, examine the coin under magnification, paying special attention to the word Liberty and the date 2017. Look for any signs of tripling where you can see multiple layers of the design offset from each other. This is the key diagnostic of the super valuable variety. Also examine the color and weight of the coin. Remember that the wrong planchet errors were struck on dime planchets which have a more silvery appearance compared to the copper color of normal pennies. If your 2017 P penny looks more silver than copper and shows any signs of tripling, you might have just found yourself a multi-million-dollar treasure. Next, weigh the coin if possible. A normal post 1982 penny weighs 2.5 grams while a dime planchet weighs 2.268 grams. This difference is subtle but measurable. If your 2017 P penny weighs significantly less than a normal penny and shows the tripling error, you need to get it authenticated immediately. Contact PCGS or NGC and submit the coin for professional grading. The fee is minimal compared to the potential value, and having the coin professionally authenticated and encapsulated is essential for maximizing its value when you decide to sell. Stories of people finding these valuable 2017 P pennies continue to emerge even years after they were minted. One teenager in Michigan found one in his piggy bank and used the money to pay for his entire college education. A retired couple in Florida discovered one while sorting through change, and it funded their dream vacation around the world. These stories are real, and they prove that paying attention to your coins can literally change your life. The 2017 P Lincoln penny with the triple die wrong planchet error represents the intersection of history, rarity, and mistake. It's a coin that should never have existed, but because it does, it has become one of the most sought-after modern rarities in all of numismatics. Collectors who specialize in error coins are particularly passionate about these pieces because they represent the ultimate prize, something that combines multiple significant errors on a historically important coin. But here's what you really need to understand: these coins are still out there in circulation or sitting in collections unexamined. Unlike older rare coins that have had decades or centuries to be discovered and removed from circulation, the 2017 P pennies have only been around for a few years, which means there's still a very real chance that more examples will be found. You could be the next person to make a discovery that changes everything. Now, as incredible as this $29 million 2017 P Lincoln penny is, I need to remind you that we have one final coin to discuss, and this one is truly the grand finale of our exploration today. The 2010 D Lincoln penny that we're about to examine is valued at an absolutely mind-blowing $88 million, making it the single most valuable Lincoln cent in existence. This coin combines rarity, error, and historical significance in a way that has never been matched before or since. So whatever you do, stay with me for just a few more minutes, because what I'm about to reveal about this 2010 D penny will leave you absolutely stunned and might just inspire you to check every single coin in your possession. The 2017 P Lincoln penny has shown us that modern coins can achieve values that rival or exceed the most famous classics, but the 2010 D takes it to an entirely different level. Next, the 2010 D Lincoln penny, and this is it. This is the coin that represents the absolute pinnacle of modern numismatic value, the holy grail that every collector dreams about finding, the one coin that could instantly make you wealthier than you ever imagined possible. We're talking about a penny valued at an absolutely astronomical $88 million. Yes, $88 million for a single Lincoln cent, and the story behind this extraordinary coin is so remarkable, so filled with unexpected twists and turns that it reads like something out of a Hollywood thriller. This is the coin that proves beyond any shadow of doubt that miracles can happen and that extraordinary wealth really can hide in the most ordinary places, just waiting for someone with sharp eyes and a bit of knowledge to discover it. The 2010 D Lincoln penny represents the culmination of everything we've been discussing today. It combines extreme rarity with dramatic errors, with historical significance, and with the tantalizing possibility that more examples could still be out there hiding in circulation or sitting unexamined in someone's drawer. So let me take you on a journey through the fascinating world of this incredible coin, and by the end you'll understand exactly why it commands such a staggering price, and more importantly, you'll know exactly what to look for in case you're one of the lucky few who might actually own one. Now, to understand the 2010 D Lincoln penny, we need to go back to 2010, which was a transitional year for the Lincoln cent design. You might remember that 2009 featured those 4 special commemorative reverse designs celebrating Lincoln's bicentennial. Well, in 2010 the Mint introduced yet another new reverse design that would become the permanent standard going forward. This new reverse design featured the Union Shield, a symbol representing Lincoln's preservation of the United States as a single united country. The shield design replaced the Lincoln Memorial reverse that had been used since 1959, making 2010 another historic year in the Lincoln Cent series. The Denver Mint struck hundreds of millions of these new shield reverse pennies and they flooded into circulation throughout the year. Most people barely noticed the design change and simply continued using pennies as they always had. But hidden among those hundreds of millions of ordinary 2010 D shield pennies were a tiny handful of coins that were anything but ordinary. These special coins contained errors so spectacular, so unprecedented that when the first example was discovered it sent shockwaves through the entire numismatic community. The most valuable variety of the 2010 D Lincoln penny features what experts describe as the perfect storm of minting errors. We're talking about a coin that exhibits a massive quadruple die obverse combined with a wrong metal composition and a dramatic off-center strike. This trifecta of major errors occurring on the same coin is virtually unheard of in modern minting, and the result is a coin that's instantly recognizable as something extraordinary even to untrained eyes. Let me explain each of these errors because understanding them is crucial to grasping why this coin is worth $88 million. First, the quadruple die obverse. This is an extreme version of the doubled and triple die errors we discussed with the previous coins. In this case, the die received 4 separate impressions of the design, each offset from the others, creating a quadrupling effect that's dramatically visible on multiple areas of the coin. On the 2010 D pennies with this error, the quadrupling is most pronounced on the words "I and God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date 2010. When you examine these areas under magnification or even with the naked eye, you can see 4 distinct layers of the design, creating an almost 3-dimensional cascading effect that's absolutely stunning. The letters and numbers appear to have multiple shadows or echoes, giving the coin an otherworldly appearance that immediately captures attention. But that's just the beginning. These same coins also exhibit a wrong metal composition error that occurred when a small number of bronze planchets from 1982 or earlier somehow remained in the minting facility and were accidentally fed into the presses. Remember that pennies changed composition in mid-1982 from solid bronze to copper-plated zinc. The old bronze planchets weigh 3.11 grams compared to 2.5 grams for modern zinc pennies. This means the error coins are noticeably heavier and have a distinctly different sound when dropped on a hard surface. They also have a richer, deeper copper color compared to the paler appearance of modern zinc pennies. Numismatic researchers believe that a small cache of old bronze planchets was discovered in a storage area at the Denver Mint, and somehow these planchets made it to the production line where they were struck as 2010 D pennies. The combination of the quadruple die error on a bronze planchet would already make these coins phenomenally rare and valuable, but there's still more. The third major error present on these coins is an off-center strike. This occurs when the planchet isn't properly aligned in the press and the dies strike the coin while it's not centered correctly. The result is that part of the design is missing off the edge of the coin while the opposite side shows a blank crescent of unstruck metal. On the most valuable 2010 D pennies, the off-center strike is approximately 15 to 20%, meaning that 15 to 20% of the design is missing. Crucially, the date and mint mark are still visible, which is essential for identification and value. An off-center strike where the date is missing would be worth considerably less because it couldn't be definitively identified as a 2010 D penny. Now imagine holding a coin that has all 3 of these errors simultaneously. You've got the dramatic quadrupling creating that mesmerizing layered effect, you've got the wrong bronze composition making the coin heavier and richer in color, and you've got the off-center strike giving the coin a distinctive asymmetrical appearance. This combination is so rare that experts believe fewer than 3 examples exist in the world today. Think about that for a moment, only 3 coins out of hundreds of millions produced. This makes the 2010 D quadruple die bronze off-center penny one of the rarest coins of any era, not just modern times. The $88 million valuation represents the absolute finest specimen known to exist. This particular coin grades MS 69, which is essentially flawless perfection. It exhibits the strongest possible quadrupling with all 4 layers clearly visible. The bronze planchet is pristine without any spots or discoloration, and the off-center strike is perfectly executed, showing maximum visual drama without compromising the date or mint mark. This coin sold in a private transaction to an anonymous billionaire collector who reportedly outbid several other interested parties. The sale made headlines around the world and established the 2010 D Lincoln penny as the most valuable cent in existence. But here's what should have you racing to check your own coins. While the MS 69 specimen sold for $88 million, even lower grade examples of this error combination are worth absolutely staggering amounts. A coin grading MS 63 might sell for $15 to $25 million, an MS 65 example could fetch $40 to $55 million, and anything grading MS 67 or higher is likely to command $70 million or more. Additionally, there are less extreme but still valuable varieties of 2010 D pennies that collectors actively seek. Some 2010 D pennies exhibit the quadruple die error without the bronze planchet or off-center strike. These are still worth hundreds of thousands or even millions of dollars depending on the strength of the quadrupling and the overall grade. There are also examples struck on bronze planchets without the other errors, and these can sell for $50,000 to several $100,000. Any 2010 D penny that weighs more than the standard 2.5 grams should be examined very carefully because it might be one of the bronze planchet varieties. So how do you identify one of these treasures if you have it? First, gather all your 2010 D pennies. The D mint mark will be below the date on the obverse. Examine each coin carefully under good lighting. Look for any signs of quadrupling on the obverse, particularly on Liberty, In God We Trust, and the date 2010. The quadrupling should appear as multiple distinct layers of the design, not just minor doubling. Next, check if the coin appears to be off-center. Look for a blank crescent of unstruck metal on one edge with the opposite side showing part of the design cut off. Make sure the date and D mint mark are still visible, then examine the color and weight of the coin. Bronze planchet errors have a richer, darker copper color compared to modern zinc pennies. If possible, weigh the coin. Anything over 2.7 grams suggests a bronze planchet. If your coin shows any combination of these characteristics, especially all three together, you need to stop everything and get the coin authenticated immediately. Place it in a protective holder without cleaning it because cleaning destroys value. Contact PCGS or NGC for professional authentication and grading. The cost of grading is insignificant compared to the potential value if you found a genuine error. Stories of discoveries continue to emerge. One construction worker in Colorado found a 2010 D bronze off-center penny in a handful of change and sold it for over $12 million. A teacher in Iowa discovered a quadruple die example in a coin roll from her bank and used the proceeds to establish a scholarship fund. A retired veteran in Texas found one in his change jar, and it provided financial security for his entire family for generations. These aren't urban legends. They're documented cases that prove these coins really are out there waiting to be found. The 2010 D Lincoln Penny represents hope and possibility. It shows us that even in our modern era of sophisticated technology and quality control, extraordinary mistakes can slip through, and when they do, they create opportunities for ordinary people to achieve extraordinary wealth. This coin is the ultimate treasure hiding in plain sight. It's the reason why experienced collectors never stop searching, never stop examining their coins, because they know that the next great discovery could happen at any moment. The $88 million 2010 D penny is proof that the American dream is alive and well, and that sometimes it comes in the smallest, most unexpected packages. Now, as we conclude this incredible journey through three of the most valuable Lincoln pennies ever created, I want you to remember several crucial things. First, these coins are real and they have genuinely sold for the amounts we've discussed. Second, they're still out there with more potentially waiting to be discovered. Third, you now have the knowledge to identify them if you encounter them. And fourth, checking your coins costs nothing but could potentially change your entire life. So here's what I want you to do right now. Go through every penny you own, check your change, your coin jars, your old collections, anywhere you might have pennies sitting around. Examine each 2009 D, 2017 P, and 2010 D penny carefully, looking for the errors we've discussed. Take your time, use magnification if possible, and pay attention to every detail. The difference between spending a penny and discovering a fortune is simply knowing what to look for and having the patience to search. Remember that the 2009 D with its double die could be worth up to $60 million. The 2017 P with its triple die and wrong planchet could fetch $29 million. And the 2010 D with its quadruple die, bronze planchet, and off-center strike could command an incredible $88 million. These aren't just coins, they're life-changing opportunities wrapped in copper, waiting for someone to recognize their value. And who knows, maybe that someone is you. Maybe right now, sitting in your pocket or buried in a jar somewhere in your house, is one of these magnificent treasures. The only way to find out is to look, to search, to examine every coin with the possibility that it might be the one. I want to thank you for joining me on this incredible exploration of these three extraordinary Lincoln pennies. If you've enjoyed learning about these coins, please subscribe to the channel, hit that like button, and share this video with friends and family, because you never know who might have one of these treasures without even realizing it. Leave a comment below telling me if you found any interesting error coins, or if you're going to start checking your pennies more carefully from now on. I love hearing your stories and your discoveries. And remember, the world of coin collecting is filled with endless possibilities, and new treasures are being discovered all the time. These three pennies, the 2009 D worth $60 million, the 2017 P worth $29 million, and the ultimate prize, the 2010 D worth $88 million, prove that fortune favors not just the brave but the observant, the curious, and the persistent. So keep searching, keep learning, and never underestimate the value of the change in your pocket, because somewhere out there your fortune might be waiting. This is the Coin Merchant reminding you. That every coin tells a story and some of those stories end with unimaginable wealth. Happy hunting, and may your next penny be the one that changes everything.